this is kuyang20U3presentation. My topic for Project A is layering information. So let's talk about what is information first. Information is basically something that has been designed through a process of research, planning, and finally come out as a result based on its audience. People face different kind of information every day. We absorb diverse information from different systems in our culture and society in order to learn something or achieve some goals. For example, it can be simply a water bill. It informs you how much you should pay this month and how you fill the form or where you should send this bill to. Another example is the common sign showed in public restroom. It applies the most common sign in the world to remind you. Its audience are general people like us, and you will reflect immediately as soon as you see this sign. Okay, don't rush to the wrong side. And you learn something from information. To designer, it's all about how to instruct your audience. On the other hand, information that hasn't been designed can only be called data. Once it's designed, people can absorb it as their own knowledge to the specific system. So how people absorb it, how people know, how people understand the information is talking about. It can be traced to the planning process. A designer should know where the information will be conveyed and what language the local residents use. What audience would probably need this information, or what age the audience are, etc. And if the information is well planned and designed based on these most basic but the most important factors, it will be extremely comprehensive to the audience. While audience accessing through the information, they could get what's going on about this information and knowing about how to do. So the process of accessing an information design for audience is like self-learning. They understand what the information is about because the well-designed visual elements make sense to them. Just like the example I showed here. Does it make sense to you? Once a designer starts with a set of information, the first thing he or she should do is categorizing them and further decide what part should be the main character. And it is very important because it also relates to how your audience will organize and access your information in their mind. The example I show here is a set of data, absolutely. And you can see there are numbers, abbreviations, and names here, etc. It's kind of simple to categorize them, just like putting things that have the same qualities together. Okay, so here we go. Here is the result. Okay, now we know this is a team, and this is a team member's name, their height, the position, and the numbers on their clothes. And so, okay, and there is one more thing I want to remind is that before we get into the very beginning of the information design, we should know the context of the information and understand it 100% so that you can design and convey them correctly to your audience. Yeah, and that's the most important thing. After categorized the information literally, we are going into another part of layering information, It's about visualization. And here is how I did. Because we know it's a basketball team based on the context of the information. And the most important thing is the players. And the other information is just helping audience to understand what they need to know in this set of information. And here we can see the players were visualized based on their height, and the numbers are on their clothes are shown as well, and the bottom part are their position, and that's deconstruct these elements. When we visualize a set of information, we must consider that the unity and readability of the visual elements that will be applied. Based on audience need, this visual element will create an inner system that connect to audience mind. When audience make their own sense to this element, they are close to being told 100%. And here I use the most common sign to represent a person's appearance. Simplify the basketball suit so that audience can associate that with the basketball. And the unity can be seen in the shape of the head and the position sign down here. Also, the colors on the suit and the position signs are the same. And here is one thing that we need to know is that what we did in layering this complex set information is not for confusing our audience, but simplify them, make each of these elements incorporate each other in order to complement the purpose and make it comprehensive. And I think this is the main point about layering information. The color and typography should also be considered carefully. For example, subtle colors could be more helpful in highlighting the information. And now you can compare these two. Take a look. So which one makes you more comfortable and have patience to observe it? I think the one on the right has a more intense color that might overwhelm the information, and the typeface is too thin to be highlighted while it is immersing within that intense color. And so overall, layering information with visual elements is very difficult because it also needs to be understandable in order to be accessible. Considering information, application of visual elements, and the target audience while planning the layers of your information could help your audience to avoid facing the possible confusion, which is the fatal to information design. And thanks. That's all about my Project A topic.